We are just hours away from the release of the next expansion set for Star Wars Destiny, one that was long time coming. But before we turn all our attention to the new meta, we take a look back at what Legacies brought to the game.
We are joined by Monk from Monk Gaming Battlefield to discuss the Legacies era and what we are looking forward to most with the new set.
This is episode 93, looking back on Legacies.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
There is no try.
All right.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Chance Cube. This is our 93rd episode. We've done this 93 times.
That's
in
crazy.
some iteration. That is pretty crazy. You know what else is crazy? This guy.
This guy. Other way.
Right?
Other way. You got
Other way?
Other way.
This guy.
Yeah. This guy.
This guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty crazy.
You are pretty crazy, Monk. Thanks for joining us. We're sad to miss Kim this week, but family obligations have her elsewhere. But she might jump in on the chat later on when she gets back home. But we're super, Monk. Thanks for joining us.
No, truly, thank you so much for having me.
After hanging out with you at Kubla, we were like, you know what, this guy, he's all right. We should have him on the show.
Thanks. No kidding.
He's all right. Those keywords. All right.
All right. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool.
Lower your standards, raise your host average, is what I always say.
Thanks.
That's our MO, isn't it? Oh, I love it. This is great.
Best ever.
I mean, this is of course, Star Wars Destiny is about to embark on a new adventure. Thank goodness. We finally got our new expansion set officially 2 days out, although I won't report on any stores who may have released product early because they may or may not should or should not have, like that little box that's in your background there.
What box?
Oh.
What?
Called
There's a
them
box? That's just a white box. Don't mind the white box. It could be Legacies.
I may have
I
a
got
couple
white boxes over there. They're Legacies.
Yeah, there's always white boxes.
I have white pillows. Does that count?
Yes, it does.
Yes. No, I may have several boxes waiting for Thursday night for our big 2-case opening live stream that we'll be doing this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, roughly, depending on how quickly I can get things set up after my wife gets off of work. But yeah, me and her will be cracking open 400 and some odd packs. I did the math the other day and I totally forgot how it was.
Oh
yeah, I know.
gosh.
That's a lot of packs.
That's a lot of packs. Well, I don't have the patience for I don't have the money to buy 4 of everything, and I don't have the patience for all the trading and all the stuff. We'll have a bunch of extras and we give them away, and that's just what we do.
That's awesome.
Star Wars Destiny. Share the love.
Share the
Best
love.
community ever.
Love. But Mike, you've been doing some play testing, yes, of some of the new stuff.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to go to town on trying to play test because I have a store championship happening in T-minus like 2 weeks.
Oh man, Way of the Force will be legal, I'm assuming.
It is. So I'm like, I need something different. And the meta is just going to change so drastically with this set. At least I feel. So we'll see.
I think it will.
Do you think it's going to be soon enough to where people are going to be bringing out those new decks, or you think you're going to see a lot of those old decks?
I think just for, of course, it's going to be a mismatch of everything, though. Because, the people that can afford like a whole box or 2 boxes or 3 boxes or a case, Jason. And then,
or 2.
and then the people that just don't have that extra flow of cash. So they'll have their meta deck that they had for Legacies.
Right.
And there were a lot of those meta decks that were on the cheaper side too, which is nice. So it'll be interesting to see. That's always the excitement over the next probably 4 to 8 weeks is how that meta is going to shape up and shape out, and how it'll be different from the last one, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about the last meta here in the show. Mike, what about you? Do you have your sights set on anything for Way of the Force? You done any Way of the Force messing around yet?
Not too much yet. I've kind of been trying to stay away from TTS because I've been trying to get my whole setup going for live streaming live games and over the web games. So and I worked like 80 hours last week, so I haven't really had a lot of time to play Destiny.
Excuses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But when I have been getting on TTS, I've just been playing the decks that I have built, and again, playing that trilogy format, Emo Kids it's just been getting more and more dialed in. So, and Monk can attest to that deck. That deck is that deck is a whomper. So I look forward to playing it against the new meta and seeing how it stacks up. I'm sure they'll do okay in the beginning, but as soon as we see that hard shift, I think it's gonna go away fairly quickly.
So I just want to elaborate on this. We played a trilogies match, okay, and this was my trial run on the Padawan series that I started up, and I felt so bad because I was completely unprepared and all that stuff. So all these future Padawan matches or Padawan series that I put out was all because of some nice, great information that I got from Mike. So just thank you so much for that.
The reason ours didn't come out is because I whomped him. It was a horrible match. It went really bad for you and really good for me. Yeah, I picked every color. I like rolled every roll. I didn't have to pitch anything to reroll. It was a rough match for Monk, to say the least.
That's crazy. Before we jump into the news, though, I thought I was debating on whether I was gonna mention this because technically it's not something that probably should have happened, but I may have been involved in the way of the forced draft recently, which is I'll have to tell you that is a very it's going to be an interesting experience because way the force is bringing in so much theming in the terms of spots Sebulba, spots Grievous or two of whatever. And how often do you? It's very rare, I think, that you draft when you play draft that you focus on two colors. I think 3-color drafts is pretty common. Sometimes it's 2, but having 2 of the same color to play those cards is sometimes a challenge. So I think drafting is going to become a little. You have to be smarter with your pulls with this set. If you end up drafting it, because it is specific. Now there are some the good draft cards are really good in draft. Some of the removals really interesting in the set. Some of those supports are really awesome. The one Pride, the one that's got Hondo and he's holding the chest and
prize
goods. Prize goods is, oh my god, because draft is so much slower that that is a wicked awesome card to get those upgrades out. And
yeah, that's exhaust the character and exhaust the support to get 3 or 5 resources. 3,
yeah, you put 3 on that. And I think one time I ended up with 6 resources on it before I did the next exhaust to actually acquire the resource. So I had turn 4 I was sitting on 8 resources and dropped 4 or 5 cards. You can now granted I went 0-3 during the entire event, so not to say it actually worked, but it's still I think it's interesting. And then also someone in the event drafted 2 Plo Koons. You rarely play elite characters in draft, but he also drafted the event or the upgrade that lets you change normal into an elite.
Wow.
So I was like, well, okay, you win this event. That's really cool. Now you've got 5 character dice on the table because you're
Rig, judge.
Yeah.
It's all right. At the store we go to, he pretty much says I'll allow it every time somebody calls judge. So,
so for this draft, did you do a draft or did you do a sealed draft?
Draft, yeah, 6 packs and pass to the side. But with the understanding that we were snake drafting the dice cards, so it was more draft for what you needed, not draft for what you want. And then based on your standings, then we put all our cards back in the table and we pulled based on standing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
so
awesome.
You didn't
everybody got a legendary, even though I came in last and I got the legendary no one wanted, which was stealthy.
Oh, yeah. That's still really good.
Yeah,
I thought so. No one else liked it. I was like, all right. I don't know what I need yet. So
come up from behind and end up, end up fooling everybody.
Yeah,
I know. I think the snake draft is very underutilized, but I think it's the most community driven like, I don't know, just format in general, just being able to bring someone in and making sure that they get something good out of it.
Yeah.
Or they're out of it. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a smart way he does it.
So you mentioned that it makes it a little more tricky to draw or to draft because you're looking for very specific cards. Do you think that this set is diluting draft a bit in that sense?
I think this set's going to make draft. I think it's going to put more focus on what you're pulling out of the pack. Because I think right now, I mean, if you're a really good drafter, you're highly engaged the entire time. As a casual person who plays a draft once every 3 weeks or so, I don't really start focus. I mean, I pull cards that I think I know are going to be good. I don't necessarily have a great strategy going into it because, opening that second set of 3 packs could really change your entire outlook on what you're getting, right? You could get that one card, you're like, oh my God, that's the one that I want to play with. But I think you've got to engage yourself much earlier on in the drafting process to be more successful. Because right now, like once I build that deck, I'm like, well, I can actually toss these 12 cards because I don't have enough characters to spot these particular events, or these supports or upgrades don't do me any good. I ended up drafting Grievous. He actually made it around the table twice. No one wanted him because. And then I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to pull him because he's a character with a dice, He's got a great die. And then come to find out I can't build him because he's 15 points. And I only had four upgrade weapons in my deck because all I had was the rivals. Like I had pulled no other upgrade weapons. So like he was a trashy character in draft. If I had pulled a plot, I probably could have used him to some degree because then I could have had him another power character in a plot. But I didn't pull any plots because I was stupid and let them all pass by me. But I think the point values in this set do make plots more viable in draft. So that's something to think about if you do any way of the forced drafting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sir Longstar asked what a snake draft is. What is it? Snake draft is you do the whole drafting process, and then just a part of the rewards program is you literally do, just depending if how you want to rank it, but whoever got first place goes and picks a card or a sets of cards, or if it's uncommon or commons, and then you kind of go down the line: second place, third place, fourth place, so on and so forth, all the way down to the bottom. Then you go all the way back up, just to kind of entail that people get at least something out of it.
Yeah, and it's cool too when you do like a standard draft of 6 players because you've opened up an entire box. So there are 6 legendaries on the table. Everybody's guaranteed to get at least one, and then your 6th place player will get the best rare. So that's, and then it goes back up and down. It does take a little bit more time to distribute the prizes. We actually do that for our weeklies too, which is really awesome. The downside is if there's a top cut, then everybody has to wait till the top cuts come to completed, which I'm happy with. I'm totally cool to sit there and watch the best guys in the store play. But if those who need to get somewhere, like I have to sit here and wait for 2 more games, 2 or 3, depending on how many players show up to get finished. So it can be challenging, but I think it's fun. It's good times.
If they want those rewards, no, I'm kidding.
That's right. If it's towards the end of a meta, I'm just like, you know what? Who's the new player? They can pick for me. I'm out of here.
Yeah. There you
go. Cool. Well, excellent. Let's jump into the minor bit of news that we have for the week.
A little bit of news.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
All right. Let's talk about
there are this is where for the last 4 or 5 weeks we've been talking about everybody's spoilers. This is like everything's spoiled.
Yep.
Everything's I don't have another 3 hours to talk about the other 80, 90 cards. Because I guess FFG was trying to get ahead of July 4th shipping issues potentially, because most mailers don't deliver on July 4th. A lot of the stores got their supply last week. So your big single stores have already started, quote unquote, pre-selling their product. But the big news this week, I guess, is that Kingwood Hobbies not only has everything up for quote unquote pre-order, but they also have all the card text. They load all the card text. So if you click on any one of the cards, you can actually see what it does. It's got all the die sides. So everything's spoiled. So everybody's kind of been poking through this site, and I'm sure he got tons of views this week.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting to see how things are pricing out and what I guess he along with the Game Haven both have single prices up for Way of the Force, and it's interesting to see how they are scaling them and what they feel like the most important legendaries are going to be, because at this point there is no kind of market to base it off of.
No, they're just kind of shooting in the dark out over here, I think.
Yeah, they are. I mean, if you look, let's see, I did a ranking recently. Pardon me. Oh yeah, they're pricing Cassian, Dagger of Mortis, and Snoke as the most, and Luke Skywalker as the most valuable cards from the set.
What are those? $29?
35.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
35 with Luke being at 40. So I don't know if Luke Skywalker being at 40 is going to be the thing, but the meta is going to determine that ultimately. The supply and demand.
Yeah,
definitely. That still leaves that Ancient Lightsaber is the still most expensive card in format right now.
Luke is down to $29.
Oh, I guess that worked out for him.
Grievous is $29 also.
Yeah,
I'm guessing Snoke and Cassian are and the Saber are pretty high up there then.
The Dark Saber is only $19. DJ's $29, which everybody's raving about DJ.
Look at Ezra's Saber.
We'll see about DJ. Ezra's Saber. Yeah, $29.
Yeah. Okay.
And then new Ezra is only $5.
Oh,
wah wah.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. I know we'll be, of course, the Chansky's Price Watch will be keeping track of all the stores as they continue to release these, and the price will fluctuate over the next couple of weeks. But it's interesting to see from a retailer perspective what they feel like is going to be valuable, and I'm curious to see if this is going to set the pace for single prices. Like, are they, because they're the first ones in, going to be the ones that's going to determine what these prices are going to be, or will something like eBay, where people will pay what they're willing to pay, start swinging that one way or the other?
Hey, I think Snoke is the most expensive now at $40.
Ooh,
Snoke is turning out to be a powerhouse. So
yeah,
I can see why.
Have you played him?
Oh yeah,
yeah. You like him more than Palp?
Oh, don't bring that up. No, right now there's no. I still love my Palp. But this Snoke didn't end up being the replacement that I wanted, but it's still a really good option. But it's now making me look more at 3 character decks with him, just so you can power action like crazy with him.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean that point value on Snoke is pretty nuts.
Yeah, I love that 2 focus side. Oh man, those 2 sides are just great.
Yeah, he's undoubtedly a force to be reckoned with in this meta.
Excellent. Yeah, I think Way of the Force is going to bring some drastic changes. What do you think? Who have you been pairing Snoke with, or what have you seen while you're out there?
Like anyone from so you can go 2 character decks. So you can go. I've seen a whole lot of Snoke Kylo. He has that the 2 side, the 3 side, right? And so if you're able to Snoke ability that 3 side, yay, you know what I mean? But being able to even pair it with, let's just say, Sienna Ray to get 3 resources for 1 damage is ridiculous. Or even from her 1 range side, 3 damage from a Sienna Ray is again ridiculous.
Sure.
So it really is so many things you can do with Snoke.
Interesting. Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing what shakes out once everybody's got cards in hand, and those first couple of store champs go by. Will be eyed very closely, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sorry. What?
What? It's like a nervous twitch, you guys. Like, what?
Store champs, Palpatine. What?
Yeah, that's all good. if anybody hasn't followed Monk and all his things, he loves Palpatine as much as I do, and he actually plays him well. Unlike my success with Palpatine, it's been miserable.
You're a great Palpatine player. Stop it.
Yeah, back in Spirit of Rebellion, I was a good Palpatine player. Cool. Well, before we jump into our giveaway, I just wanted to let everyone know that this month, for the month of July, throughout all our live stream, every time we come on air, and then between shows, we're accepting donations over at thechancecube.com/Nova. The donation is going to 50% support the Nova Open Charitable Foundation. They do breast cancer. They support breast cancer research, the Fisher House Foundation, and Doctors Without Borders. And then the other 50% of the donation is going to underwrite the live streams of the U.S. National Championship, which will be there in full force with full commentary, unlike our Worlds live stream where we were, sequestered on a laptop next to the table and can't say a word or else we'll get kicked out of the building. Over at the we've got a great setup over at Nova, which will have some awesome guests and interviews. So if you have it within you to donate, you can check out thechancecube.com/Nova. If you're watching live, you'll see a donate button below our stream. We'd appreciate anything from $1 to as much as you're willing to share. And check out hopefully an increase a number of streams this month. Once we get these Skype games rolling, Mike Hill is going to grace us with his Skype gaming skills.
I got to get some opponents. So all you Skype gamers out there, hit me up. Let's play some games.
That's right. And, of course, our live stream of the unboxing and then at least 2 store championships will be broadcasting this month, if not more. So check out all of that. We appreciate any support you guys can give. And we'll make that bar at the top of our screen go more red than it is blue, because right now it's only a little red.
Make some donations if you can.
Thank you guys. Let's give something away.
Let's do it.
Look, I ain't in this for your revolution, and I'm not in it for you, Princess. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money.
All right. Let's give something away.
Yeah, this is usually the spot where Kim brings out her little giant AT-AT popcorn bucket, and she shuffles around and pulls things. Oh, that's a pork. That's a knitted pork. That has absolutely. Anyways, but she's not here, so we're going to be slightly less glamorous this week with this. But this week we asked over on our Facebook page, as we prepare for the arrival of Way of the Force, tell us what you think Legacies brought to Destiny. We got some good responses over there of some what you thought Legacies did for Destiny, like an awesome meta, because that's pretty much what happened. Poe Ray became a thing of the past, and the single deck metas became a thing of the past, and we got a meta where the pilot is more important than the deck itself in many ways. As long as the pilot had a finely tuned deck, the deck itself could have been any number of things. But giving away 1 pack of KMC Perfect Fit sleeves to help you sleeve your new set. The winner this week is going to be Anthony Wiggins. I think Legacies brought a beginning of the power creep, low-costed characters such as Ayla, Yoda, and Talzin, starting to have a larger impact on the game, making deck building more diverse and flexible. So I think power creep is like a negative term, but I don't think it is anymore. I think the way Destiny is power creeping, it's not like negative, but maybe we'll save that for later. I don't know.
We'll save that. We'll save that for later.
All right. So congratulations, Anthony. Shoot us a message on our Facebook page. We'll get those sleeves out to you as quickly as possible. This week, it's another week and another question. As we do with all of our new sets, I will be giving away 3 rares from my plethora of extras that we'll end up having. I'll give you a list. You get to choose. The question this week, with Way of the Force now upon us, what card from the set do you feel is the most thematic, and why? And on next week's show, we'll be talking a lot about theme and trying to, for those who are not inundated in the extended canon, as they say, of Star Wars, we'll talk about some of those characters that you may not be familiar with, like everybody's favorite assassin droid, who has finally made it into the set.
Oh, I was so excited when they spoiled that. That's one of my favorite spoils from this set, for sure.
And Ariana Price. There's some great characters in here that if you're not familiar with the cartoons or the comics, then we'll be breaking down all those next week for you. So head to our Facebook page. Let us know what your thoughts, and we'll hopefully pull your name out of the popcorn bucket next week.
And now a word from our sponsor.
You know, Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I've bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got two Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say, speak softly and drive a big tank.
We're live.
Oh, that was like pointed at me, like, go do something. Got it. All right.
Yeah. That's cool.
And Slate, I'll edit that out. So we're going to talk, before we forget about Legacies, because we're going to quickly forget about it. Not the cards, but like what it did. What era of Destiny it ushered us into. We want to talk a little bit about what Legacies did for the game. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we all have our top 5 favorite cards from the set.
We do.
Is that a thing that we're doing?
We do. Real quick, Brendan, thank you for the donation. It's greatly appreciated. Yes, we do have our top 5 cards that we loved, even though I put Easy Pickings in there and I don't love it. But we're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
See, you are Monk feels me. That blue villain player hates Easy Pickings.
But before we jump into our top 5, I guess I just want to ask a question of you two. Like, when Trilogy came into the scene, we were dominated by kind of very mono metas in a way. Like, if you weren't playing one or two decks, like, you weren't doing anything good. Aside from the obvious meta shakeup and what it did for the game in that respect, what do you think was really awesome that Legacies? Once Legacies was ushered in, what do you think was brought to the game that was we're going to be ever thankful for?
I'll start. I would say the amount of control that we gained in this set is just phenomenal. It changed the way that you play. You don't have to just play extremely aggro to win. You could play so much control and sit back on your heels almost and just kind of ride it out towards the end of the games and then just finish after your characters have power creep, like we heard earlier, where you've just been building and controlling and then just whomping people at the end. I think that's what I'm most grateful for this set.
Yeah, so now I'm with Mike, and the fact that this set just actually started the ramp, it kind of like that, what Anthony said just a little bit ago on that comment, was it brought so much variety to Star Wars Destiny in itself. So now you're actually seeing more like 3-wide, 4-wide decks when, the basis was either a two character deck, either mono deck, or a 3-character 5-die villain deck that everyone wanted to play. And there was like nothing other than those. So I think this brought so much variation to Star Wars Destiny and what it needed. And now we're here.
Yeah, and we're very glad that we're here. If we saw, we went to Worlds. There were 300 some odd players there. The top 16, not a single deck was repeated. what? That's a lie. There was one, maybe one or two repeats, right? It was Sabine Ezra was represented a couple times, but that's great compared to like when we were at Nationals after Spirit of Rebellion, and at least, you know, of the top 16, at least 8 of them were Rainbow Nines, right? Like we all want to forget that was ever a thing, honestly. If you weren't playing Rainbow Nines, then you weren't winning anything.
No.
But here we are, and now we've got Legacies was the first of a new block of cards. So the concept of the trilogy format came into play, and we'll be talking about Infinite here in about a year, which is kind of crazy to think about. And I think Legacies really ushered in, whether it was Legacies intentionally or because Rivals timing wise, Legacies was the first real set that we're drafting with. I don't know if I once drafted with other cards than Legacies, but I think most players are doing Legacies drafts right now.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I've been seeing is Legacies drafts, because if anybody's trying to get any cards right now, it's Legacies. Nobody wants to draft anything else.
For my personal experience, I literally drafted like everything. We've drafted like Awakenings one, like we literally did like a step up ladder at my store. Nice. So we did like Awakenings one draft, then Spirit of Rebellion one draft, and then Empire, just again to kind of clear out the stock at the same time. Just try to enjoy Star Wars Destiny as much as possible.
There's still There's still great cards down in those sets too that are fun to have, and really, when I go to draft, I prefer to draft some of those older sets because I like pulling out some of those older cards that we never even really played a lot, and then you get to see them played. And then at the end, if you have 2 of those cards, you can just give them to the new player. Like, I'm just there for the draft. I'm not there to set collect. Now, that's going to be different when we start doing Way of the Force, because I'm going to need those cards. So for right now, I'll be keeping them. But, playing those older sets is fun for the draft. Yeah.
For sure. And I think, our winner this week kind of mentioned it too. The point values on our characters have changed dramatically. So the flexibility, like you said, Monk, 3 wide teams are more prevalent, that can do more than the previous 3 wide teams. 5 die. The potential for 6 die starts or 5 wide, powered battle droid teams. It's nuts. And just the flexibility, and I think is going to be really interesting to see how this carries forward, because even with Way of the Force, we're already seeing a change in power actions, plots, theming, and even more development on what Legacy started. So without further ado, as they say, I guess we're going to go through our top 5 cards from Legacies. Who's going first, Mike?
I'm going to go first because my cards were first in the set. And there's it was pretty crazy. We each picked 5 cards, and we only had 3 cards overlap, I think. So we got 12 cards to talk about. So that's pretty cool.
So with your 5 cards, was there anything in your brain that you were like, okay, my 5 cards are going to be my 5 because I like them, because they play well, because
I think I picked my 5 because of the way that they affected this set and the meta.
Sure. Cool.
Mine were like the most. I tried to pick like impactful cards from this set. So my first one's Mother Talzin. She brought so much control and a whole new suite of cards. Like, I was gonna include her crystal ball and stuff like that, but I thought I'd bring her and her suite kind of in one card.
That's cheating.
Yeah,
you can't bring one card and be like, this is actually equal to 17 cards because she's awesome.
Yes. Okay, and I think, Monk, this was on your list too, Mother Talzin. Yeah,
she's on my list.
So, what do you got to say about Mother Talzin?
Oh, okay, so we're doing that way. So,
yeah, if any of our overlap comes up, we'll just talk about it when it comes up.
Okay, so it's undeniable on how consistent Mother Talzin is. If you build your deck, everyone knew that she was going to be something in this meta, but no one knew exactly to what restraint and everything what she's going to be able to do. But this just brought the next level of consistency that Star Wars Destiny needed. just on certain decks, just in general. And that's what I absolutely love about her. Plus, her die in general is pretty amazing. The one focus side and the two pew pew sides just goes a great deal. You know what I mean? It made a whole new version of 5-die villain. It made just so many things. Freaking Thrawn Talzin, that, you know,
right?
Just a very awkward deck. She's a beast.
Jason, you have anything to add about Talzin?
Yeah, she was always one that when you sat across the table from her, she was you knew that you were in for a game that you weren't going to control as much. You'd be glad when your even colored cards or even cards got to the top. And it was interesting to see the idea that we're going to build a deck around odd numbered resource cards. I think that was an interesting play with her, right? Because if you include an even card in your deck, then you are at risk of pulling it at any point in time, and then ruining your turn. Not ruining it, but I almost felt like anytime somebody pulled the two calls cards or 0 calls cards in their deck, then they were like, well, there goes that turn, you know?
Right.
So I thought that was an interesting way that it was built. I'm just looking at the top 16 from Worlds, and she sadly didn't make it past top 16, but she was represented twice, 3 times a lady. Nope, just twice in decks. Once with Thrawn, which was an interesting pairing for her, and then once in with the Mother Aura Singh deck, which was awesome. That one made it to the top 16, and almost made it past Sabine Ezra in that final game there. The Mother has definitely changed the course of deck building.
So my second card is a card that I hate, but shook the meta up completely, and I think has been
I'm gone.
Me.
No.
Yeah, just leave this stream. It has been every deck that I played against that had this in the deck popped on me twice. I think every single time it always comes up and it always hurts. It's easy pickings. Jesus, card's good.
Easy pickings. Yellow hero, 1 resource, spot a yellow character, remove 2 dice showing the same symbol and value, ignoring modifiers and resource cost. I think when this card first came up, this was one of those cards where like, how often is that going to happen? And then people started playing it. We're like, a whole lot of often, right? And you roll into it. And it's almost one of those cards. Destiny's one of those interesting games where there's rarely like, there's not such thing as an interrupt, right? There's no way to kind of, you can roll out and you've got, your opponent's got a turn to do something. Like this is one of those cards where like, I'm going to roll into doubles and I can't play around it because I want to roll in doubles and I have easy pickings. Like, I'd rather roll a 1-2 instead of a 2-2 because my opponent's playing a villain deck or a hero deck with some sort of yellow character, and so your vehicle decks, your Sabine Ezra, were playing easy pickings like crazy. Even the Aura Talzin deck, that was a great way to get this card included. Stupid card.
Horrible card.
Or Talzin. Easy pickings.
Aura. Just kidding. See, thank you for correcting. See, that's why we have experts on the show, Mike, like this guy.
I love you, man.
That is funny though, because I always forget like that there's kind of a mistake, right? You know, playing a villain character and trying to play around easy pickings, and realize that easy pickings is a hero card. Stupid.
Next card.
Next card
is the heirloom lightsaber. This set really introduced some 3-cost upgrades that were definitely worth playing up to. Redeploy on a big ol' 3-cost lightsaber is really important, and especially in my Kylo Anakin deck, this is a great weapon to have on Kylo early. And then he gets knocked down and then immediately goes over to Anakin, who almost inevitably has 3 shields and no damage because everybody's been focusing down Kylo. So, and again, with Maul's lightsaber, another one that's a big 3-cost that was really important. I love heirloom lightsaber. Good card.
No one else loves heirloom lightsaber.
No one else loves heirloom. No.
It's all you, Mike. It's all you.
It's all me. It's okay. I liked it. This is the namesake Legacies. Spot a blue character, resolve one of your dice showing a modifier, as it did not have a modifier. This is, again, great with Maul's lightsaber or any any die showing a big modifier, +2/+3. And you don't even have to use it for damage. You can use it for resources, shields, whatever. It's just it's a great card, and it's a 0 cost, and it's neutral blue, so everybody loves it.
It's also a card that freaking I didn't pick this card, but it's just one of those cards that no one expects because, again, barely any deck runs it. So, but pretty much every single person that is running Maul's lightsabers possibly should be running Legacies as well, just for an extra 4 damage when someone doesn't expect it. But it's such a good card.
It definitely has that that unexpected factor because your opponent can see nothing but modified sides and feel like they're sitting pretty. And then this comes out. I was like, well, so much for that +4 that just punched me in the face.
That is another reason I really like this card, is because people will look at that modified side and just think, oh, they're fine, and not put shields on or not do something that they should have done, and you can finish games quickly that way.
I just literally had a match right before this, right? Because my friends are here right now playing some Star Wars Destiny in my other room. But so I was just playing a match, and you know, if you have a choice between a 2 black melee side and the modifier sides, you're always going to pick the black side. Mm-hmm. So, and you can get smacked in the face with that 3 and 4, which is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
All you did was take a 1 off the board. Yeah, it's great.
Yep, I love it.
All right, next card. Then, like I talked about earlier, Maul's lightsaber. Oop, another huge 3 cost that I really liked with a lot of those modified +2/+3 +4 sides, and that power action. Just another great thing we got introduced in this set. Power actions, very cool.
Yeah, and even after this card was edited, was erratated, it still became just as powerful.
Still 1 resource. That's not even that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, and whoever doesn't know, if an opponent has no shields, pay 1 resource, and then roll the die into their pool. Into your pool, not their pool. That would not be a good power action.
Here you go. Here's a resource and...
All right, so the next card, this is getting into Jason's list. So we'll start with Ayla.
Oh, this is my list?
Yeah. We'll start with
this is
Ayla.
awesome. Yeah, I think Ayla is another one of those characters that came to the set that defined deck building, especially for heroes, right? Ayla is such a cheap character with 3 damage, so 50% damage sides, and then the 1 special, which is kind of like a Yoda Light, right? I mean, lets you turn one of your die as long as you're building around it for blue and red, and then turn an opponent's die to any side. Great control on both ends. And having a 9/12 character that's got 10 health, often played elite. I mean, you play her elite, and all of a sudden you can roll. Just her alone can roll into 4 damage on turn 1, which is awesome, and give you access to a whole suite of blue cards. I think Ayla has been from the hero side really meta defining as a character, and a crux from the 3 white hero standpoint.
Yeah, this it's crazy. 10 health, 12 for elite. She got sticks 1, a 2, and 2 indirect, and a resource, and that control. Like, it's just she's nuts. When I sit across from her, I get really nervous, for sure.
Yeah, she's one of my top 5 as well, and it is ridiculous. So I really think she should have been a legendary. That's how bad it is, because everyone is already, saying that she needs to get nerfed. She needs to have that errata to be done. And that being said, just shows how broken and or how favored she is. Mm-hmm. It's one of the only die it's one of the few die that you can doubt, and you're like, crap, anything it rolls is going to suck for me. Like you can doubt that die and just still wonder if you're going to die or live, or him to get that special side to get some type of mitigation off. And that's what I absolutely love about Ayla.
That is a die I won't even waste my doubt on. You're gonna end up rolling into that too for sure.
True story.
All right, next card. Maz's Vault.
Oh, I think Maz's Vault is underrated, but you see it a lot, especially in those yellow decks. I think Maz's Vault's the only way to make it is one of the best ways to make a vehicle deck in a trilogy meta work, because you don't have the help from Rally 8 or Tech Team. And Maz's Vault has also been a great way for those Sabine Ezra decks, as much as we love them or not, to come out there and get the resources to get those 3 cost upgrades out on a regular basis. And while it does benefit both you and the opponent, you tend to find that if you're playing Maz's Vault, then the opponent really doesn't need the extra resources sometimes. I don't know. I just like the idea of helping out your own personal ramp. You build for the fact that you could use these extra resources. Your opponent's not building that way, so they don't necessarily know how to use all the money they're sitting on. Or you can steal it with your Ezra.
Yeah, that's when it's useful, is when you're playing it with something you can steal resources with. But otherwise, I would not mind sitting across from somebody who gave me an extra resource during the upkeep phase. For sure.
As Palpatine, I loved anybody that played Maz's Vault
yeah,
on the other side of the board.
That's kind of a dangerous card to play, really, I would say. Because if you played it across from my emo kids, I would be so excited to start with 3 resources. Upkeep phase. Ooh, that would be dangerous. Yeah, you guys could play that card all day. All right, next card. Hondu.
I think another character that's defined Legacies in a way, the way Hondo plays a different kind of game, right? Hondo plays a game of resources. And you have to pair him right? I mean, Hondo Yoda was very well done, but if your opponent was swimming in resources, then you weren't doing any damage. However, as long as you're building Hondo to the idea of pulling out some pretty awesome upgrades because you can afford them because your opponent's paying you every time you're doing damage, there's a couple ways you can play him, and I think it's brought more of that chess game to Destiny, less of the luck and more of the what is the best move, and making your opponent really think, do I give them the resource or do I take 3 in the face? And when they take 3 in the face, it shortens that game just that much more. Again, 12-15 for 10 health. It's pretty awesome. And 2 special sides, right? Deal 3 damage to an opponent's character unless that opponent gives you 1 resource. It's again another character that probably should have been a legendary, but playtesters only have so much to test with, and they don't really know how well we're gonna destroy these cards until we get the whole pool of cards out, and those best players are really figuring it out.
I don't like this card. I never have resources. I always get hit with 3 damage.
Yeah, it's hard too, right? Because even if Honda's sitting across the table from you, you're less likely to play that upgrade or that event this turn, just so you can have the resources for your opponent's turn.
It's a mind game. Honda is a mind game.
Yeah, it is, and it's tough. It's really tough not to play those upgrades, and then he ends up inevitably hitting that special side,
especially turn 1.
Right.
And and last on my list, I think is the new Hold Up Blaster, which is Hidden Blaster. I think is an awesome. Do I not have it on it?
Wah, wah.
No? Did I jump the gun?
Okay, we'll talk about Hidden Blaster. Go for it.
Hidden Blaster. Well, I'm going to talk about Hidden Blaster because Mike just totally skipped it.
What?
Where is it?
It's right.
Where's
here.
my card?
Hidden Blaster. We're looking at it.
There we go. Thank goodness. Hidden Blaster. So everybody's new version of the Holdout Blaster, Hidden Blaster's got 3 damage sides to which are modified. Is ambush, 2 resource costs to play, but has the extra ability of after you play this upgrade, you may remove 1 shield from a character. So it really pings 1 damage when it comes out if there are shields on the table. It's been kind of an awesome upgrade to have for any deck. Especially those who are relying on some blaster ramp, and for 2 resources, it's pretty solid as long as you're playing a ranged base deck, which we haven't seen a lot of this meta when it comes down to it. Honestly, not a lot of range damage coming out, but I imagine if that swings the other way this time around, a Hidden Blaster is going to continue to see play.
Oh yeah, especially in the Callus deck.
And it's a starter deck card, so it's something that you just get because you get your 2 starter decks because everybody needs 2 of every kind of thing.
Of course. All right, now we will go back to Finn. Let's talk about Finn.
Finn.
Oh yeah. All right, so this one is literally here just because it's one of my favorite cards in the set. It's one of the most underrated cards that we have, and coming into this meta that we're about to have, I think we're going to see a lot more of Finn. Again, it's another one of those die that are very, very difficult to doubt. Don't get me wrong; you pretty much have 2 blank sides for the modifier side, but the fact that he has a 3 indirect and starting off with a 2 pew pew side, and being able to mind game with the move of damage from a card to another card, it just messes with opponents' brains. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys saw me, like you. I know, Jason. I think your wife played me against my Finn Ayla, and she was just like livid against it. She didn't know what to do with it. Because every time she did damage to me, I always put that damage back on. She's like, "God, stop it."
I'll have to add anything. I remember her saying that, so I'll have to ask her about that game. That's funny.
So, it's just those type of things that I like. Just it adds another version or another point to the Star Wars Destiny. Mm-hmm. Just another way to mess with people's brains, or just another way to play Star Wars Destiny, which is really nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to have to try this one out because I know the more you think about it and damage from a card, it doesn't have to be a character, right? It can be any card.
Any card.
So,
It is very nice.
All right, next card. Yoda.
All right, so we had to mention Yoda, right?
Of course.
I'm surprised. I think I was avoiding it because I knew someone was going to.
Right.
Yoda is on my love and hate list. Just because he's so good. No blank side, right? Mm-hmm. One of the few, again, cards in Star Wars Destiny currently that have no blank sides. And pretty much everything on that die is pretty damn awesome. Give or take that disrupt side, but everything else is pretty incredible. And the fact that he's able to do 2 different freaking actions in one turn if you get the special is just bonkers.
Which he always seems to roll the special. I think all his die are weighted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one of it and one of the and this is actually one of the first cards that ended up being the casting that's about to come out. It can go in different types of decks. It can go in aggro decks, it can become a mill deck. It can even become in a vehicle deck. Like, it's one of those things that you see in every single type of deck, mm-hmm. which is very nice because it's a very small 10-13 cost. And yeah, it just shaped meta a whole lot. And that's why it's still one of the most valued cards currently to try to get.
Yep, I'm still digging for one for you, Monk. I haven't forgotten. Because I'm not gonna play it. That's for sure. I absolutely hate sitting across from Yoda. That special side for sure hits every single time, and then he is shielding up and gaining a resource to always just stack whoever his hitman is or his enforcer. So Yoda is a very tough opponent to sit across from. And 10 health, 13 for elite that's a great cost. All right, next card. All right, Resilient.
All right, Palpatine. All right, that was my only reason I
that's all you had to say.
Chose this card. No, yeah. So this made my in all the Palpatine decks or anything that you want to keep a die in your pool decks. I can see Cad Bane doing it. I can see Sabine doing it. As long as you have some type of blue character there, then Resilient is able to be played. And this being said, now we're getting into a longer game state. I can see Resilient being a card that's going to be used possibly more often because they're trying to bring these big characters like into this set, right? So we have Bo-Katan, we have Grievous coming in, we have like all these other other things that can be put into it. I think Resilient is just so good, and it's one of those cards that are actually like an instant effect from Magic that's able to be played, and it's something that they cannot modify a die, or they can't mitigate a die right after you roll it in, which is pretty damn amazing, especially for Palpatine again. So I love it. It's amazing.
And it's interesting you mentioned that this is probably one of the first cards that have that instant effect, right? For the longest time, I think if you weren't careful, Doubt could be misplayed because you were doing something and your opponent was doing something off of it, and you felt like, oh, that was their turn, but no, it wasn't. It was actually yours. This kind of has that same feeling where it's like, oh no, I just rolled my die in, but it wasn't my turn. That was just what my card did. Thank you very much. Now I still get to go, so congratulations. There's a couple cards in Way of the Force that are doing that too. So we'll have to start watching out for that to creep into the game a little bit more. That's kind of instant interrupt type ability that's just sitting out there. Scary.
There's one card that is going to be amazing, and it's going to get sold out like crazy, that this set about to come out is going to have, and it's a nice red card. Do you guys know it?
Oh, a red card? I was thinking Way of the Force. I think that card's
good. Yeah, no, I'm thinking red card. So Way of the Force coming out. There is one support.
It's the zero cost support that you play and then you discard. You actually put it out of play, but it can sit there and like remove any die. That's such a mind game. I don't remember the name of it.
It's called Suppression.
Oh, that's right.
Zero cost. You pay a resource, discard it, and you get to, like, if you roll out any character, it can choose any of the dice that you just rolled out, just one of the die, and just remove one of the character. Well, it has to be a character die, but you can remove it and that's it. And that's an instant. There's no action needed. It's amazing.
Let's see if I can find it real quick here.
Are you trying to find it?
Yeah, I'm on that Kingwood.
Yeah, Suppression is gonna be a beast card, and like fire? Right now they're crazy cheap. And anyone that's running red at all, especially since red is gonna be such a heavy hitter this set, it's gonna be ridiculous. Everyone's gonna be wanting that card.
I don't see it in here. I see Suppressive Fire. Yeah, I don't see it.
Sir Lone Star, Mug's favorite. Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. That's it for Monk's cards. We had overlap on everything else.
Yeah, so I think, these were all representative of Legacies, and I think something else Legacies did that no other set has done is there's more utility out of almost every single character in the set. I think there's a lot of sets we can look back and say, yeah, that card was never played, or you would never see anything competitive out of this card. But I think you have to consider Trilogy as well. But if you look at all 24 characters in Legacies, I think everybody's got a place in some deck somewhere. Even Jar Jar. Jar Jar is making quite a splash in Trilogy format, and it's just pretty nasty to sit across of almost in any game. But he's pretty competitive, I think, in Trilogy. And I'm trying to think of any other characters in Legacies that's just not good, and there really isn't a whole bunch. Maul didn't get a whole lot of play, but I think he's got his time's coming.
Yeah, his time's coming for sure. He's strong, but he just didn't have the right pairing. I think we'll see it soon, hopefully, because I got one of his spot glasses, or his the ones from the Galactic Qualifiers.
Yeah. His time better come. No,
God damn it! I want to play that card.
Yeah, no, but I think it's going to be. I think that just shows the balance of the set and what they've been able to do. Of course, Legacies I think was one of the first sets that came out after the game really got some legs. It was the first set that the designers were designing after the game was released to the public and saw how we were playing the game and can start to balance things. We all have to realize that they're currently they're already on set 10 in terms of concept and design, and we're only on set 5 that's being released tomorrow or Thursday. So they're continuing to adjust the game as it's played, but there are 2 sets ahead of us.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty exciting. So any final thoughts about Trilogy before we wrap it up? Not Trilogy. the set
We
Legacies.
didn't really mention Legacies brought us the plot card too, which has been pretty important. Let's say it hasn't been important yet, but I think it's with the new set coming, it's gonna make more sense to, with the point cost of characters, to start really thinking about using those plot cards. They're very cool. They bring something different to the game, and they definitely change your strategy when you are deck building, and I like that. I like that they're bringing more options to the table for us, and they're slowly feeding it to us, so we're able to follow the game, and it's not overwhelming, and it's very cool. And yeah, nobody mentioned plots.
Yeah, it was like it was a nice smooth transition to it. Like, it gave us a shield, got a discard off the top. Got 2 extra on the roll off, was able to do 2 indirect damage, like very small things. But now going into a plot that can do so much more was a nice kind of like ease into it. So I can't wait to see what happens in this next set as well in regards to plots.
All right. Absolutely. I think, the first deck I'm building is around Built to Last. I'm 99% sure that's the first deck I'm building. Bunch of unique blue upgrades, and just you killed that character. Doesn't matter. They're all going over here and
Luke,
rolling out again this turn.
Luke Ayla, huh? Okay, good times. Not kidding.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I think there's so many cool mill cards in this deck. I think building a mill deck and playing it for a couple weeks is just worth doing. As much as people love playing against those.
No.
Or Cassian, the hero's Palpatine.
So amazing! I can't wait. My new Palpatine.
Let's talk some Star Wars.
The Jedi. What do you know?
Jason, what's new with you in Star Wars?
I saw Solo again for the second time today.
Nice.
Because I heard it was going out
today. Like you watched it twice today.
No, I watched today. Was the second time I've seen it since you and I saw it back in San Fran. I saw on someone's Facebook feed that it was getting ready to get pulled out of theaters. And I was like, no, I've only seen it once. So had to go get another viewing in. Loved it the second time just as much as the first, if not more.
Good.
Yeah, that's we opened Toy Story Land this week at Hollywood Studios, so I've been my brain's been in a different franchise for a few days. You've got a friend in me going in loop.
Oh, it's so cool though.
Oh, it's copyrighted. I'll stop singing.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get our stream pulled because you hummed "You Got a Friend in Me" for 3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. I think it's time to ramp up Star Wars again. We're now a year and a half out from the next film. So it's I don't know. We gotta find the excitement ourselves until the news gets dropped and Lucasfilms figure out what they're doing with their films after Episode 9 comes out. Because I don't know what's happening. I wish I did.
We will find out.
We will find out. What about you, Mike?
What is new? I've been buying a bunch of art lately, so that's coming in the mail. Next week I sit down with my tattoo artist to work on my Star Wars sleeve some more, which is pretty exciting.
Have we shown that sleeve on the stream yet?
I think so. I think we have. Oh. Yeah, after my next session I'll show. I got a sweatshirt on right now, so yeah. We're not doing the striptease on the stream. That's the After Dark show. You had to tune in later for that one.
Is that why Monk just disappeared from the frame?
Yes, he's getting his Star Wars Speedo on.
No, I'm kidding.
And I've been delving back into my Star Wars comic books and reading them to the kids at night as their bedtime stories, and they've been really enjoying those. I just don't show them some of the artwork because some of the Darth Vader stuff's kind of graphic in some of those comic books.
Yeah, totally get that.
Yeah, what about you, Monk? What's new with you in Star Wars?
That's actually what I was just getting because I was not prepared for this, but it just happened to be that I am prepared for this. So No, my wife actually just got it for our anniversary, lithograph set for Star Wars. So,
Ooh, nice.
so I got all excited about like these type of artworks and stuff that I was able to get.
Oh, those are cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's like a lot of original poster stuff. And,
Exactly. It's freaking amazing. It has the Japanese, all the stuff on there too. I know it's not represented because I really don't want to take it out yet because I'm up, but I'm excited to take those out and get going with those. And my wife's just been so crazy supportive with this. So,
Nice.
and I started reading for the second time the Thrawn book by Timothy Zahn.
Oh, that's my favorite book of all time.
It's so good. And the fact that this set brings out Arinda Price, Governor Price, you know what I mean? It's freaking, it just ended up like kind of bringing it all back. So that's why I'm like, I'm reading it again.
If you haven't read that book, you owe it to yourself to like at least read the first 20 pages. The first 20 pages of that book are so good.
Yeah, and the new Thrawn Alliances is coming out soon, so which is the sequel-ish that book. So I'm excited.
I'm so excited for it. And what is it? I remember listening to like the audiobook version. It doesn't have the full book on it, but I remember listening to it, like portion of it on YouTube as well. So, if you want to just get a snippet of it before you go buy it, it's portion of it is on YouTube. It's not the whole damn book. So don't even, no, go buy the book if you like it, but it's a nice, there's a lot of good, acting inside of it, voice acting. So it's nice.
I think like any of those like Google Books or iTunes or anything, they'll give you like the first like 5 minutes for free, so you can check it out, which usually helps because some of the readers aren't usually the best on some of those.
Monotone like crazy.
Oh no, it's the worst when they do like extra accents, like really hardcore, like trying to put too much into it. That's when it gets real bad. And Jason can attest to that. Yeah,
no, I've done my fair share of audiobooks. I need to get back into like actually reading real books. Sometimes I just can't keep up with it, but I go on phases on what keeps me entertained. So, well, Monk, thank you so much for joining us. If any of these fine folks don't know who you are or where to find you, how might they do that?
Today is usually the time that I usually live stream. So I just wanted to just take a lot of time to be with Chance Cube and enjoy the Chance Cube-ness of everything. But I do live stream on
Cube-ness?
Jason. You guys are not old enough. Some people that are watching this to even know what that is. All right. So, I do live stream every Tuesday. I have videos that come out like almost every single day now. I have 3 different series that you guys can check out: theme matches, stuff with content creators like Mike that I got beat my butt on and didn't post, and future ones that I hope to get with Jason, that type of thing too. So if you guys want to see more Chance Cube as well, they'll be on videos that are coming on my stream, on my stuff as well. Other than that, I'm on the YouTubes. I'm on all the social medias, either Monk's Gaming Battlefield or Monk's GB, and Too easy. That's how we all find each other, because we all have really cool names. And it's easy to find us on things. Because I don't know.
You guys know where to find us. Instagram, obviously on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, at the Chance Cube. Check out the price watch at thechancecube.com. If you find it in your heart to donate to the Nova Open charity, that's half is going to go to us, half is going to go to Nova. It's going to help you, bring you more content. Remember, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button if you're a Prime member, and we will see you next week, Tuesday at 6. Everybody have a good week, and good luck in all your matches.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our price watch, meta tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.